We could have another multi-day severe weather outbreak starting from today, Saturday, Sunday, and even possibly into Monday. The risks could include tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. We will be going over the impacts, the locations, and the future even after those severe weather days. So, we're going to start off with today with a large marginal risk of severe weather here in the north central tier of the United States. General risk with this does include some damaging winds, isolated large hail, and perhaps even an isolated tornado or two. We also have a small marginal risk down here in the Ohio Valley here for parts of Arkansas, Missouri, extreme southern Illinois, and extreme western Kentucky. Again, threats today include a small chance for tornadoes, isolated damaging winds, and maybe even large hail. Now, tomorrow is the first real day of a possible severe weather event. So, coming back up to the north central part of the United States, we have a large slight risk extending from North Dakota all the way into Wisconsin. Threats with this, however, could include much more than just damaging winds and large hail and isolated tornadoes. Here's the wind threat for tomorrow. As currently is at a 15% for damaging winds, and this will likely get upgraded with the next SPC update. However, that has not been confirmed yet. We will be taking a look at the future radar and what that can also show here in a few moments. We have a 15% damaging wind risk for the north central for these storms that develop tomorrow on Saturday. If we look at the tornado threat, we have two areas of interest. One further back into parts of North Dakota, and we also have another threat, more so in the Minnesota area. And again, both of these areas could be upgraded, depends on what the SPC or Storm Prediction Center decides. And if we finally go to the hail outlook for today, we also again have two separate areas where these storms could fire. We have one further west, and then one more in Minnesota, more central. This time this is going to be further south in Minnesota, more of almost central to southern Minnesota. However, we still have one more day, actually 2 more days. We have a day 3 threat right here with, again, another slight risk extending way back up into portions of North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota. However, we also have a large marginal risk that extends down all the way into parts of Michigan and Illinois here, which basically means that anywhere could have a chance for storms. I do believe that this slight risk will be extended further south, as the models have been showing some more stronger, more widespread storms as they come from that low pressure system in Canada. And if we finally head over to the day 4 outlook, this will be for way further south, more of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, and even parts of northwestern to northern Indiana will be included in this. Threats with this are still a bit too early to tell. Same with day 3, but however, we can almost say that's going to be, again, a damaging wind, isolated large hail, and maybe perhaps a couple tornadoes with the storms. Let's head over to the radar. So let's head over to the radar here. So let's check out today's radar. Again, the time and date will be posted in the northwest corner of the video. So if we come to the north central part here, let's first take a look at the temperatures. So starting off right now, we have temperatures over in the west here, extending into the hundreds here, which is extremely hot, but not uncommon for July 12th. We have a bunch of areas extending into the mid to upper hundreds. And then further off to the east, we have most areas chilling in the 80 to 90 range here. It does get a little bit cooler as you go south. And again, that's because of that marginal risk here for today. We have that chance for storms to develop pretty much anywhere in this general region with these high temperatures. if we come to the dew points here, what the dew points could be looking at, we have most of the dew points currently are sitting in the 70s to perhaps 80s in some regions, but mostly in this area over here, it's in the mid to upper 70s for dew points, which is very moist, so it's definitely very capable for some severe weather for today. If you notice, you come further east, the dew points do drop. That's also where the temperatures are a little bit, they're higher, but the temperatures drop, so more drier heat over here, but a lot moister in this area for that. That's why that marginal risk has been issued for that area for severe weather for today. Finally, let's head to the precipitation for today. So if we check out the precipitation here, so we will notice here we'll have some convection begin to develop here at around, actually before even 12 a.m. we'll have some convection develop before 12 a.m. for this region here. You can see at around 8 p.m. extremely in the west, extreme western portions of North Dakota will have some could have some isolated showers and storms here, but that won't really get going to about around 10 to 12 in the morning for this is the latest HRRR run here. You can see we do have some storms that will drift up towards into Canada. However, most of the storms will be here. Again, it's a very isolated risk here. The biggest, if this model shows this, the biggest threat will be the storm right here. That should just travel along with this rain shower down to the south. Again, but still has a chance for development. As you can see, more convection does begin to spread out as it moves further east through North Dakota. This rain shower down here fizzles out. We have also some smaller convection developed down further south down here in South Dakota and parts of Nebraska. However, that shouldn't be as significant as up here, and even then this won't be too significant by itself. If we run this through the night, you can see we'll have a line of storms try to develop here, and these storms will end up developing and move straight south, and we will get to that here in a second, and we're going to get to that right now. So if we come check out the NAM, which is another forecasting model here, you can see this actually shows it a little bit different. This shows the convection line begin to develop here with this convection moving south into the storm, which would pose for a damaging wind threat here. At around 5 a.m., we'll have this cluster of storms that will move through northern Minnesota, but we will have more, if this model pans out correctly, we will have more development here in portions of central to southern Minnesota here. And as that happens, it gets pretty widespread here. At first, it starts off with these two separate distinct areas of severe weather, but eventually these will form into one big thing. They'll kind of conglomerate and become one big storm. But it will quickly fizzle out. It will try to re-intensify further down to the south, in portions of northern Iowa, extreme southern Minnesota. However, it shouldn't. It shouldn't too much, but again, we could see something split off from the main thing and just move generally to the south. And then we will have some smaller, and then at around 9 p.m., here we'll have some more convection develop here on Saturday, the 13th. And that slight risk extends all the way through here. So this right here will probably be your greatest threat, right through here. And then anything else that can develop here, this would probably be that threat. That should move out quickly though. But then we will have development here at 12 a.m. If on Sunday, this will transition to Sunday's threat. That slight risk has been positioned up here. I wish I could overlay, but we'll have the finishing convection down here beginning to weaken and move into Iowa. And we'll have some new storms develop off to the west in South Dakota, some general thunderstorms. These will quickly fizzle out. And then from there, this will be I think Sunday will be the main threat. The afternoon is pretty quiet. However, it appears right now it will be a late night threat. We'll have two areas of concern, one down to the south here in South Dakota, and one coming out of Canada in extreme northeast North Dakota here. Both of these will have the chance of producing some strong storms, depending on if they can really get a hold of that moist atmosphere that is placed over this area. However, in South Dakota, these storms do seem to be a little bit more significant, and the Cape Valleys, and the significant severe weather we will take a look at here in a second, is positioned further in South Dakota. But we will have some more storms up here in North Dakota that will breeze on by. That should just breeze straight on by. So let's head to the Cape values here. So this is what basically shows, this is what gives storm juice. So here's today's Cape, extremely high values, which is completely enough for any storms to develop here. And you'll see these kind of, and if you notice here, you'll see these kind of openings right here. That's storm development. These are all storms that develop and take control of that really moist atmosphere right through there. And then they kind of fizzle out quickly. And then tomorrow, you can see they blow up again right through here in that very rich atmosphere, 5,000 to 6,000, which is plenty for development. That'll just kind of blow up. You can see it gets really significant right through here, right in kind of this area right here when those initial storms develop. But then everything will kind of calm down. It'll use that atmosphere to its extent. It'll calm down, and then it'll happen again. Day 4 that's more of a southern threat in Iowa. I don't know if you can see that very well down there, but it will blow up in Iowa, could cause some significant severe weather for there. But again, threats down there are still a bit too early to tell. Now, quickly, let's take a look at these supercell composite storms here. So here's today's threat. You can see it's pretty high due to the Cape being high, but when the storms initiate, if they initiate, they will have a chance for that isolated tornadic activity today. You'll see it'll fizzle down. It won't be complete zero. However, you'll see when the Saturday storms fire, this says around 4 p.m., which would be a little bit more, ideally, they will take good use of that very rich environment for some spin in the atmosphere. So again, isolated tornadoes cannot be ruled out for the region. All days do seem pretty favorable for some spin-ups, but not guaranteed. If we also take a look at significant supercell parameters, you can see here, they're also pretty kind of high. So again, it's pretty, can't rule out an isolated tornado or two for both days there. Let's take a look long term really fast here. So if we come out to the United States, the entire United States here, and then if we obviously go to the GFS here, so this is how you predict long term. So you can see we'll have these low pressure systems that will move through that will cause the severe weather, and it looks pretty it looks kind of active here. We can see we have multiple low pressure systems that will try to develop some storms here. But we do get cool down periods. So I think probably mid to end of July. So this is around July 18th. You can see much of the United States here is pretty calm. Could have some showers and storms down in the south. However, that's not uncommon for this time of year. But everywhere else seems to be calming down with some high pressure setting in. However, you can't rule out those isolated storms that could try to develop here. But things do calm down significantly after what we've been seeing these last few weeks. So this will be a nice cool down period for the United States. However, it will be very hot. So thank you guys for watching. Please, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe as it helps me out a lot. And I will see everybody in the next video.